Hello, Nasro. Can you hear me? Hello, Preston. Can you guys hear me okay? Ah, good. Natalie Saginashvili must be from Georgia. Are you Natalie? Can you guys see me okay and hear me okay? Because I have a red line here as far as the resolution of the picture is concerned. And can you guys also see me? Hello, Gerald. First time, Gerald, yeah? Never seen your name here. Gerald Joseph. Good morning, Mehran, he says. Thank you. You've helped lots of people. Okay, I'm delighted. Oh, you hear me okay, and see you okay. Ah, okay. Then why is it that shows here an error occurred? Please try again later. What does that mean? Natalie says, yes, I'm from Georgia and I can see you and hear you. Good. Okay. As long as it's good for you guys, I'm okay. I guess maybe my computer is, this particular computer, every time I put it on, it freezes the picture. But my other computer, which is a smaller one with smaller memory storage, it's normal. So, hello, Wookie Wookie. So you guys all say that the sound quality is good and picture quality is good. Yeah? Just put a yes or no there, please. Hello, David. Gerald says, I'm Gerald, 51, Filipino, with an 53 German ex. Okay. And Natalie says, yes. Yes means, okay, you guys can see me and hear me well. Okay. Well, this is the voice quality better than usual, like before? If you guys hear any backgrounds, let me know, because I can, this new mic that I have, which last time I was unable to put it to work, and you know, when I consulted with my son, he simply told me that you probably did not configure the new mic in the OBS system that you're using. You just probably configured on your computer, but did not select it for the OBS. And that was definitely the case. So quickly I recalled, yeah, I should do that too. And now it's working. And this one has got gainer button, which means if there's too much background noise, you can tell me and I can bring it lower and have it focus on my voice. But I do want your input about its quality compared to last times, the ones who joined me before. Well, most of you might have, because this is now 256 live talk that we've been having, so most of you must have heard me before. Now, Piash says, Mehran, I think I'm pathetic. Well, okay, we'll get to that in a bit. Hold that thought, and I will deal with your question first. But right now, let's just say some greetings. Let me, you know, get these mic thingies questions out of the way. David says, I think there's a little background noise, which is good. Is it? Is it? So do you want me to reduce the background noise? How about my voice? Does it come loud and clear? And Preston says, male 34 US. Thank you, Preston. I'll get back to you as well. Let me just deal with the mic stuff. And we have Prehistoric Hunter. Ooh, okay. Hi. It says male 22 from Serbia. Aha. I have fear of intimacy. He says, okay, we'll get back to that as the third one. Ah, Gary says, I will miss the sirens. Okay, so that means it's not any kind of a noise that you wouldn't want it to be in there, like just the normal stuff. And Con says, hello Mehran, male 29 France. Bonjour or bonsoir. It's your first time here. I've never seen this screen name here. And David says, I there meant is less background noise. Ha 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 ha. But yes, your voice is loud and clear. Okay, then we have a go, Houston. We have a go with the mic. We hit it on the head. We have a beautiful, workable, good quality, high quality mic donated by my son. So we're all good to go. Nastro says your voice is loud and clear, but I'm losing your live stream today. Oh yeah, well I can that could be possible. I don't know. Somehow it's just not. I can't even see myself. So do you guys want me to reboot? Like not reboot, just refresh the page. Can we do that just for a second? And again, give me your comments once I refresh, if you can still see me, or some of you still don't see me. Can you guys see me at all? Ah, video is stable for you. Nasra says, 21, Atlanta City, New Jersey. My dear, good to see you. I'm getting very strong. Thank you so much. Good, good, good. Sophia is from Romania. See, you guys putting me to work, guessing work. Blessed you all, just put in those codes. Male for male and F for female, where you're tuning in from, the name of the city, and how old you are. Just 3 little thingies. Helps me out. But I think Sophie is from Romania. Am I not sure? Am I correct? All right, so looks like everybody sees me. The only person who doesn't see me is me, myself, and me again, I. David, male, 23, Dallas, Texas. You are exempt, David. I know you are. Okay, and PH says video is stable for me too also. Sofia, Greece. Ah, I goofed on that one. Your own fault. You should have let me know. How do I know? But I have a recollection that we did speak at one point. I believe. Not so sure, but I think that's why I went to that direction. All right. Okay, so if the picture is okay and everything okay, I'm just gonna refresh the page just to see if it makes a difference, and hope you guys will not lose me just by doing that. Aha, I didn't lose you guys, and it's fixed up. I can see myself. Hello. Now just throw me a yes. Let's say everything is okay, because I did refresh and I don't know if there's an effect on the other side or not. Otherwise, it's all good here. You guys still there? 2. Ah, okay, Sophie. All right, everything seems to be okay. All right, then. On that note, I like to welcome the newcomers, Sophie, obviously. Also, people that I have not seen their screen name here on Live Talks. Also, Piash00, Sophie, and I believe Natalie Seginashvili, I believe she is also first timer here. And everybody else who's been here, who's here first time, welcome you to the program. We are now very official program, to our live talk. And what we do here, we talk about matters of mind, emotions, thoughts, things that concerns you in your personal life, relationships, breakups specifically, and the roots of the breakups, handling the breakups, the pain, the emotional challenges. We discuss that, and we try to understand our center, the inner psyche, what makes us tick, what makes us feel the way we do, act and react in negotiating our daily lives, such as what is thought, consciousness, what is the relationship between thoughts and consciousness, where is thought come from, where is consciousness coming from, how is it put together, how is it formed, what about fear, what is fear, where does fear come from, and desire, how about it, how many steps does it take, what's involved before desire comes to be, and what's the relationship between desire and pleasure. What about ego? What's the role of ego in how we feel and how we are in pain after a relationship and its relationship to desire? And is ego our boss, or we are the boss, and why? And talking about mechanical processes in life, order, and why is our mind looking for order? Is it because it's seeking security and it can find it in the order, and the order is created by the mechanical processes that we are engaged in daily lives and with our partners? And what happens after the partner leaves? And many guys say, you know, my girlfriend left and I'm devastated and so on. We go through all that kind of stuff here. So this is what we do here. And this is perhaps one venue, or my trick, to introduce to you the concepts and the understanding of our center, who we are. What is thought, consciousness, fear, desire, pleasure, ego, and the relationship between all of them, and how they affect our daily lives. In order to introduce all this, I use the forum, the venue, the topics of breakups, because that's exactly a effective and practical way for you to get introduced to your own psyche. But the real purpose of this whole thing is to introduce you to your psyche. Now we happen to use the breakup topics. So now that we have got that out of the way, introduction of the channel, let's go to the questions. The first question we have here is, and remember, because I answer the questions and I forget stuff, once I answer, I don't remember. When you follow up a question, when you come up with a follow-up on that question, do again mention M or F, male or female, what your gender is, and how old you are, and how old your partner is, and where you're tuning in from. Again, all of that helps me to place you somewhere in the world, maybe possibly helps me with the culture that you've been raised or you're living in, and the age, so I can kind of tailor make the responses, you know, better suitable for your age or understanding culture, background, gender, and so on and so forth. Age. All right. Now, first question is Gerald. Gerald says, nothing. Where is Gerald? Disappeared. Gerald, 51, from Philippines, and his ex, 53-year-old German. Gerald, I don't see your question here. What happened? Did you take it off? All right. So we go to the next. Piash. What happened to Gerald's question? Oh, was there none at all? I guess there wasn't any. Okay. Piash says, Mehran, I think I'm pathetic. All right. That's a stylish start. How to get rid with this type of thoughts? I can't mix up with. I think there is a little less background. Okay, what happened? We're looking. What happened? Oh, I can't mix up with people. Please share me your thoughts about this. Thanks, Mehran. You can't mix up. There are two questions here. One is your inability to socialize or mix up with people, because you see, I need a little bit more info. What is it? You're suffering from certain kind of a condition. That you can't be around people, you're shy, you feel short impatience, and you don't want to interact, you're introverts, or is it just you don't have things to say, or you kind of feel like you're out of place because you think they're better than you, and you have this kind of a lack of confidence? Maybe you can tell me a little bit about that, and I will discuss the first part of your question, which is how to get rid of this type of thought that you think you're pathetic. Well, again, I need more information on that. Pathetic in what way? Like, do you have transient thoughts, negative thoughts come into your mind, and you can't get rid of that? Is that what you're talking about? Guys, help me out with a little clarity on the questions, because this topic can go in any tangent, but if I don't understand it, I won't be able to help you. So when you say you're pathetic, in what way? When you say this type of thoughts, what kind of thoughts? Negative thoughts, thoughts that puts you down, thoughts that tell you you're not good enough, thoughts, what kind of thoughts? Something that is unwanted that appears in your head. Specific questions. Now, we have had 256 different live talks, and you guys know that our abilities here can be quite sophisticated and can get very deep. But unless I know exactly from which path we should go deep, then we'll end up in a wrong place anyhow, no matter how deep we go. You don't want to do that. You will find no water or oil or whatever. So let me see if we have a response. Olga, my goodness. Happy New Year to you, Olga. How have you been? I haven't seen you for the longest time. Says, hi, Mehran. I'm on live talk finally. Just wanted to say hi. Oh, delighted that you're here. What a surprise. Well, we are good. We are just enjoying ourselves. This is the second live talk in the new year, 2019. And we're hoping to reach as many people as we can. And with your help, and I don't know if you guys know or not, Olga is responsible for all the beautiful thumbnails that you see on this channel. Any beautiful thumbnail that you see, it's Olga's work. I'm highly impressed and thankful always. So let's see if Piash has responded to more detail about his question. Until we get that, we go to the next question. So Nastro says, what happened, my dear? I keep losing your live stream. Oh, how come? Everybody says works. So even works for me fine. I can see myself here. Preston says, male 34 US. Since my breakup, I have been trying to get over a slight depression. Naturally. 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 Did I say naturally? Naturally, I did. He says, I try to be active, but can't be more than 20 to 30 minutes. I have no energy. It's been 6 months. If you have a farm and you have one of these old style of water pumps sitting on the ground or sitting on top of a well, you know, I don't know, you've seen it on movies that it's got a handle and you got to bring the handle up and down many times and to get some water. And often, no matter how many times you do, there's no water. It takes forever, if it comes at all. Two-part question to you. The pump that is sitting on top of a well, does that mean that the pump is going to pour water on its own? Naturally, you say no, because there's a mechanism there. Something has to happen. A mechanical process should happen for it to do what it's designed for, to produce water, to bring the water up to that level and then pour it out, right? So you say, I have no energy and I can, you know, I try to be active, but I can't be more than 20 or 30 minutes. Well, I'm surprised you can even be active 20 and 30 minutes because you're not doing anything. You're not moving the handle. You're just sitting there, just like if you would be sitting looking at the pump and hoping that the pump would naturally bring the water out because there is water underneath in the well. Just because it's sitting on a water well doesn't mean it's going to pour out the water itself. Just because you are alive doesn't mean you're going to have energy unless you constantly want to create energy. Now, the second part of the question is that means you can't be sitting around and not be active and hoping that activity, energy for activity, would actually flow through you. You need to do something, and this movement makes that pump that each one of us have in our lives functional. Because the whole environment that we're living in, sitting on, is universe. Universe has energy running from one end of it to the other end of it in all directions. Up, down, right, left, front and back, and all in between. One end of the universe to the other end of the universe. From there to there, from there to there, from there to there, from there to there, from all over. So, once you start thinking about this energy, calling it in by the way of the meditation that I've explained in my book, Me, My Psyche, and I, explains to you exactly how meditation is, you are actually activating the pump that brings energy to all of us. Because if you're not aware of something, it's like eyesight. Things are there, but as long as you don't open your eyes, you cannot see it just because you have eyes. You must put it to work. Train it on what you want to see. Energy is there, abundance in the universe. But unless you become aware of it, focus on it, allow it, want it, command it to come into you by thoughts and by action, it will be like the pump sitting there on water well, but no water coming because nobody is pressing the handle. So Pressing the handle for you is thinking, learning about how to encourage energy flow into you by looking at that meditation chapter that I have, elaborate meditation chapter on the book Me, My Psyche, and I. I don't know what chapter it is, 42 or whatever. And second, by creating physical activity. So the idea that energy is available, abundance in the world, in the universe, it should be first and foremost in your mind, that you shouldn't worry about where's the energy. The energy is there. But you're not seeing it because you're not focusing on its existence. Like what we said, there are things there, but if you don't open your eyes, you can't see it, even though you have eyes. That's one. Second is you got to start moving that handle, meaning you got to start taking the steps, doing things like that 20, 30 minutes that you say, you got to do more. If you say, I can only do 20, 30 minutes, then that's what you can do because your mind moves the body. You say, I can, you can. If you say, I can't, I can't. Put your hand on your shoulder or your knees and say, this hand is glued on my shoulder, 100%. It's just glued one piece, glued with the strongest glue. I cannot take it apart. It's stuck to my chest. It's there. And there is no way I can take it out. It's like cement. It's one piece stuck with glue. As long as you think that way, not try to take your hand off. It's stuck. It's like glue. It's one piece. I can't take it off because my mind says to me, it's stuck. It's one piece. You can't take it off. But as soon as I say to my mind, command that it can, I can. Mind moves the body. So when you say, I'm depressed, in fact, and you say, that means I don't want to move. So when your mind says to your body, I don't want to move, your body says, okay, you're the computer, you're the control center. So unless you start moving the handle of the pump, there would be no water coming out, no matter what kind of energy is around you. So number one, learn how to recognize and focus on the existence and presence of the energy that you are submerged in it. Become aware of this energy. And don't be like a fish that's swimming in the water, but is not aware that it's swimming in the water. It's just oblivious. It just lives, swims. But he's not conscious that it's swimming in the water. It's just swimming. Now I want you to be conscious that you're swimming in energy. Energy is abundance. Why? Because look at everything that is going around you. The trees, the flowers, the wind, the oxygen. Every one of these things that is going around you and make things work, grow, develop, change. Sunshine, nighttime, moonlight. All of these because of energy. So it's an evidence that energy exists. Become aware of it. There is no shortage of energy. And you are connected to this energy. You must understand that. Why you're connected to this energy? Whether you want it or not, you're part of it. First of all, because you're part of this universe. And this universe is all about energy. Every ingredient of it, every fragment of it is made out of energy. Everything is made out of energy. So you can't be separated from that. And that energy runs from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe. And you are part of that pathway that universe is crossing. It passes through you in order to get somewhere else. Now it's up to you to harness it when it passes through you, express your positivity to it, use it for what you want to do or not. So you should become aware of the existence and abundance of the energy. And you can increase that knowledge and ability to bring more flow to you by the meditation that I've discussed in the book, Me, My Psyche, and I. Now, the other thing is that you need to start pushing the handle, the pump, which means you got to get activity as part of your regimen. It's like you eat, like you sleep, like you say, I don't want to move. Now you got to say, I do want to move. Once you command you do want to move, your body tends to listen further. When the 20 or 30 minutes comes up and you don't want to do it anymore, you say, I do, I want, I will. Because you're the boss, not how you feel. Your feeling is part of you, not you part of your feeling. Most of us give in to our feelings. I feel sad. Oh, I feel happy. These are feelings that are part of you. Not that you are part of it. You can command, I'm not sad. In the middle of your crying, you can command, don't want to cry. And you will see, you will stop crying. What I'm trying to tell you is the feelings that you express yourself through or something that you feel is not what dominating you and making you be who you are. It's you who can command that feeling to continue or stop. It's all energy. And if you have the command of the energy runs through you or you want to unleash it on something, you can make the difference. If you go in front of the mirror, in the middle of your crying your sadness, just say, I don't want to be sad. I don't want to cry. I want to laugh. Ha ha ha. It looks a little bit crazy and, just make sure other people don't see you. Otherwise, they think you're nuts. But it works. It shows you are in control. Now, recognizing the existence of the energy, that you are part of this energy. You are therefore, as part of the energy, makes you be one with the universe, part of the universe. You're connected to the universe. Universe being the humongous power, therefore you are, in turn, connected to the mother nature, to the humongous power, unlimited power. You're connected to the universe. Universe's energy is unlimited. You're connected to it. So there's always abundance of energy at your disposal if you recognize it. You can fall asleep and say, oh, I don't have energy. Just like I close my eyes, say, I can't see anything. Well, of course, because you didn't call on it. Call on it. Open your eyes. Whoa! It exists. I can see it. I believe it. So you must believe that you are part of the totality of the universe. Universe being abundant in energy, you're made out of energy like anything else in this world. You're connected to the energy source, the universe. So there is no shortage of energy, number one. Through meditation, encourage this flow of energy that is naturally flowing from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe to learn how to bring it to focus and to concentration. To learn how to be able to unleash it or control it. It's all explained in that chapter of meditation. Number three, you start promoting activities in order to use this energy. Because the more you use of this energy, the more place it will be created for the energy to flow more. It's no different than you have a glass of water and you fill it up to the rim and you say, that's it, it's filled up. How can you get more water in this glass? You say, I can, it's full. Yes, you can. By pouring some of it out onto ground, onto flowers, help something to grow, use this water that is filled up in this. Then you have created more space for more water, fresh water, so you can pour. So by using, commanding to put to work the energy that flows through you, whatever it is that you have recognized of it, by using it, you're giving the energy out, spending the energy, creating space for more fresh energy that is flowing through you towards one end of the universe to the other universe, and you're in the between, fill you up with more. In that way, you're promoting your understanding and your ability to control the flow and encourage the flow and bring more flow, be aware of more flow, use the flow, and suddenly you will see what you are thinking that you can't or you don't have is just in your thoughts. Because you are allowing the emotion to tell you you are part of it, rather than you telling the emotion that you are part of my creation. What I feel, remember it says feel. I feel. I feel. It doesn't say feel I. What I feel, that means feeling is part of I. What I feel is what I am creating. Feeling is not me. Feeling is part of me. So if you look at it that way, then you see you're in command. You're the master. You can say, yes, I am depressed because I say, and I say, I want to defeat this feeling and I want to change that feeling. Therefore, I'm going to go to the gym. Then I'm going to go for a walk. Then I'm going to be happy. Why? Because I'm going to understand that the opportunities or whatever it is that I had and I don't have now is not limited to that what I had. There's a lot more opportunities, same or better, out there for me to find. It's like saying somebody found a piece of gold. Say, that's all the gold there is. No, you look other places, other mountains, other mines, there are more to be found. For that reason, you don't have to think or fight or kill each other for that piece of gold. There are a lot more out there. And if you lose that piece of gold, you can't despair. You can go and find other because you believe and you know for a fact that there is a lot more of that same thing or better is out there. Same thing here. Whatever you feel you've lost, you've summed up the whole world into that particular whatever it was. Your bicycle, or your car, your money, your relationship. And you think it's all one. The whole life is condensed into that. No, they're all also like your feelings, part of your life, part of life. They're not the whole entirety of life. Once you have made your relationship to be representation of your total existence and experience of life, then when it doesn't work, you think you've lost the totality of your experience in life and chances and opportunities. So you should change your definition of what that relationship should mean to you. What that girl, if your relationship with your girlfriend or wife, what that wife or what that girl should mean to you, how much it should mean to you. It should mean to you as long as you also mean as much to them as they mean to you. Once they change their mind and you try to resolve it and things don't resolve, then you start also diminishing what they're supposed to mean to you to equal to what you mean to them, which means, behold, be okay. It's all right. You can find others who would like to be part of your world, part of your life. And you can find wonderful compatibilities, wonderful qualities in them just as well. Do not sum up one relationship or one moment, or if you're a woman, one man, or whatever your relationship, do not sum up one relationship. In this case, we just talk about what kind of relationship, then you switch it around to whatever your type of relationships. Do not sum up one woman to be your entirety of experience of life. One relationship to be the whole experience of life. It's a fragment of life. Relationship is part of life, part of your experience, not the whole entirety of your experience. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No big deal. What do you do with a car that doesn't work? Well, you try to fix it. If it didn't fix, what do? You go get another car. What can you do? You can't sit there, okay, I'm going to walk the rest of my life. I'm just going to sit there and not go anywhere. Why? Because this car used to be good and used to be wonderful, but it just doesn't, it doesn't. What? Okay, so it doesn't. You move on. The whole idea of life is moving. If something doesn't want to move in tandem with you, well, that means okay. But doesn't mean you should also stop from moving. You should continue. Because life is about continuation. Life is about movement. You stop movement, you stop life. So you have stopped your movement. You have stopped to recognizing that life is not summed up in that relationship that you were in. And because you summed it up, you think there's nothing else in existence. Because you, in your mind, you thought nothing else other than this can measure up, can do you justice. And you believed your thought. And the question would be, why do we believe our thoughts? So, I think I had other things in my mind to say which I might have forgotten. So if you treat yourself in that way, you will see that you don't have to lay there and think you're depressed. I do understand how difficult it can be because you have allowed it to become fact. Often, thoughts replace actuality. Thoughts put you in a certain frequency that you believe that is what you should operate on. That frequency is the frequency that you should resonate, and that is it. Why? Because you thought of it. And you believe your thoughts. And that's the problem. That we believe our thoughts. When the thoughts of depression, when thoughts of the world is ending, the thoughts of that she was the best, and the thoughts of that I don't have her, the thoughts of that therefore I can't be happy, comes to you, you believe it. Why? Why do we believe our thoughts? Our thoughts, us, are thoughts different than us? Is thought and me separate? Is thought better than me? Is thought wiser than me? Why do we believe our thoughts? Well, that's a topic that I can discuss it in another question, because that's going to go deep, and this whole thing will turn into a 2-hour lecture, which I didn't intend it to be. However, this was important, but perhaps we can discuss that if you guys are interested, why we believe our thoughts. And if I get feedbacks from you, maybe we can continue on that. But for now, we just take a break, and I take a look at other questions. I hope it was something to help you out. Now, who was it that I was... I think I was talking to Preston, yeah, I believe. I hope it's helpful to you, Preston. And where in the US are you from, Preston? And Prehistoric Hunter, that's a funny name, I like it. Says, hi, male 22 from Serbia. I have fear of intimacy. My relationships don't last longer than 1 month. What do you think happens? She's going to eat you alive if it lasts more than 1 month. What is you, Cinderella? After a certain time period, you're going to turn into pumpkin? What happens? What, she's going to do what? What's the fear? Fear of what? What happens? Well, if I commit myself to this girl, then no other girl I can experience or be free. Well, you know, linear timing. We have a certain number of years to build what we want to build in this form that we are, physical form, and that time eventually comes to end. So when you think you're free, but you still want to build stuff, accomplish stuff, what about when time has passed and you come to an age that you say, oh, you know what? I really wanted to do all these things that I wanted to build, but I never got to build because every time I brought the material to build, I had the fear of building something. But now that there's no more time, I wish I had built something, because I could have gone into it and used it as shelter and be safe and feel psychologically secure. So if you think about the pros and cons, then you can see, okay, do I want the freedom to roam around, or do I want to have a nest and build something so I know where I come back to every night? It depends on what kind of stage of life you are at. It may not be important to you at all, and that fear of intimacy that you call may not be a fear, maybe the age that you're in and you're not interested in that. You're 22-year-old, and that's exactly why you don't want to commit into a relationship, because there's so many wonderful things out there you want to see. So many beautiful girls, so many relationships and possibilities. And you think by committing to one relationship, then you will miss out. That's if you think a relationship is only physical. Then that's true. There's always another girl that can be more enticing and sexy, and you want to, get to know her for intimacy and all that. But if you look beyond that physical intimacy, you will see there's a lot more to a woman than how beautiful she looks. There's so much things that you can share and find compatibility in, harmony in, the psychological security you can find in each other, the sharing of views, emotions, supporting each other in light of the challenges of life and how you negotiate on your daily lives. A real friend, a real partner, someone who feels with you, for you, about you, and you do the same. And the ideas you can bounce around each other and share and criticize constructively or expand on. Then you will see there's a lot more to a relationship with a woman than just sex, which is limited. Anything physical, any physical limitation to a relationship, any physical part of a relationship, any physical motivation for a relationship is limited. You have sex with a beautiful girl, and eventually that girl, as beautiful as she still is, doesn't look that exciting to you anymore. So what happened? It is just like you look at a beautiful flower or a tree, or look at the blossom on springtime, and you think that's all that plant, that tree can offer. And when that blossom is no longer as abundant or as much or in the same color anymore, a few weeks later, you think that's the end of experience with that plant, with that tree. But you don't know that that tree can also provide shade, fruits, sustenance, and you taking care of the tree also brings you certain kind of a psychological security, satisfaction, accomplishments, pride, confidence. The interaction to recognize how deep the capabilities of the tree, what it can provide, and the interaction between the two is going to give you the whole picture, but you won't stick around to find that out, because you only focus on the physical, what could be seen at the time you were looking at the tree, not what the tree was capable, which was coming, and this was a prelude. The blossoms were the prelude to what it was going to be able to provide or bring to fruition. So the same thing with a woman. When you have a relationship with a woman, there's a lot more to that woman. It's an intelligent being. It's someone that can enhance you, encourage you, inspire you, if you get to know each other, both of you, for each other. But if you only think about, okay, the girl thinks, okay, the guy is good looking, he's got money, okay. And the guy says, well, the girl is good looking and, that's, fun. You have really lost the real qualities in each other by only looking at the surface is just looking at the blossom and not waiting around or digging around or exploring further to see what this tree's species is, what it can provide, what kind of fruit, what kind of sustenance, what you can build from its branches. You can build a house from its fruits. You can get nourishments, and from the interaction with it, you can take care of it and fill up your soul and be happy and be content and feel that you mean something. All of that comes from both of you going deeper in the relationship than just physical part. And that anything physical is limited, including sexual intimacy and all that, which would limit your understanding of the opportunity you had to get to know and cultivate that relationship in a deeper level, because you never get to know about the girl, about her intelligence, wisdom, class, manners, things that it can instill in you, inspire you, teach you, learn from you, together share things, build. So, is it the game of chess that is boring, or is the limit of your information, a limit of your capabilities, knowledge about the game? Is it the chess game that is boring, or is your lack of enough knowledge about how this game, what this game is all about? You can see the possibilities in chess game is endless. If you know the openings, a middle game, an end game, and all these possibilities there, it's exciting and it's beautiful. But if you study it, if you give yourself a chance to learn it, same thing with the relationship. When you only focus on one aspect of a relationship with a woman, we only talk about what kind of relationship, one kind, and you guys, I'm talking about like from boys' point of view. You guys can switch it around to whatever type of relationship you have. So if you only limit your relationship to just the beauty of a woman, it's very limited. It's like, a few first openings of a chess game. What about the whole entire experience of this game? Amazing stuff in there, devising plans, and all kinds of wonderful things that you can find in their possibilities. And this should go in both directions in all relationships. So, at age 22, you only see one dimension what relationship is about, and that makes you feel you're going to be limiting yourself if you commit yourself to that relationship. Instead of thinking, by committing to it, you will get to know a lot more about what you can see now, which then you can decide if it's working or not, which that would be a deep bond on consciousness level and all the other things that we just talked about, and not what is visible to the naked eye. So perhaps you just hang around, do what you got to do right now. Don't have to be, in a look at your relationship. There has to be a long one. Just see how long it lasts. When you grow up a little bit further, when you're 25, 26, 27, 28, you'll be then looking for, you understand what I'm saying here now, that, okay, yeah, none of those temporary physical connections actually get me anywhere. There's a lot more in there that I'm hoping for, to learn, to experience. Therefore, I'm going to stick around longer and make bigger and deeper efforts. Hope that would be something for you to ponder. Prehistoric hunter. So, at one point you will stop hunting and start building. That was philosophical. All right. All right. Gerald says, no matter how much I try to forget her, but it hunts me 24/7. No, it doesn't hunt you. You hunt you. It's all about believing your thoughts. Let's see, do I have any answer on that? Let me just go try to take a look. Natalie says, Oh, she must have said something before that, so I gotta go find that. I guess maybe I just carry on and see the next question. Olga says, guys, is it lagging only for me? So maybe some of you can answer her that. Is it also lagging for you, or lagging picture or sound? Most of them said the sound and picture both are good. My screen is frozen anyhow. On this computer is always frozen. But everybody else, when I asked them, they said all works fine today. So maybe it's the bandwidth, Olga. All right. So we now go to Danielle. Danielle says, hi Mehran, you helped me a lot after my breakup, and I want to thank you for all your knowledge sharing. You're enjoying your tea, and did you experience a breakup yourself? Who hasn't? I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't break up. Of course, everybody breaks up. You know, the one who doesn't break up is the one who meets a girl, marries a girl, and that's it. But nobody, unless you've married the first girl that you met, everybody breaks up. Because if you're a heterosexual male and heterosexual female, which I am only talking about one kind of relationship because I can't know about all relationships. So let's say I'm talking about a heterosexual male, my experience. So when you're at a certain age, a very young age, you fall in love. But when it doesn't work, or it does work because you're so young, or she doesn't know about it, or you know about it, or you, and it doesn't work. But do you expect it? Let's say first you fall in love, I don't know, 5-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, whatever it is, for different people, different ages. But what do you think? If you fall in love and a girl likes you and you like her, and then what? You guys gonna get married? Of course you're not. Maybe 6 months later, 2 months later, 2 weeks later, you don't like each other that much anymore, and you move on. So unless the first girl that the boy meets marries her, of course you're going to break up. It's just, for everybody is the same. So naturally I have broken up too. But it never hurt me. Like, of course it did. Of course it did. The serious ones, of course it did. But it never was something that it ever expressed itself as it's the end of anything. It just was painful. Okay. And to me, pain was part of life. Some things are painful. But didn't mean that it's supposed to mean something, that I'm supposed to be stuck, I'm supposed to be... No, yeah, I would feel the same thing that everybody else would feel, but short of the fact that that feeling would mean that I should not continue on with whatever it is that I want to achieve in life, or know that, didn't even think that other girl, not girl, but just go on and things will come around, and it always did. So I guess maybe I was just a little bit different by thinking that no relationship is detrimental. Always thought it's painful. Naturally, many of us are romantic and we love our women and we are attached to her, and we think of her the world and respect her, love her, and all that so forth at the time that we are together. And no difference in me. I loved romance and adored women, and my girlfriends were always special to me and always treated special. But when it didn't work, it wasn't like, okay, it's all pain and discomfort, but there was no question about not going through with it. Oh yeah, okay, painful, I gotta go to school. Painful, I gotta go to work. It's uncomfortable, I kept doing what I had to do. It wasn't like something that it could have any power to stop me from whatever it is, but I could feel the pain. It's like you have something, hit in your arm, and you've got an arrow in it, but you still know you gotta do the things. I don't know, chop the carrots, cook the food, and go hunt or go do whatever it is you do. There was no question about, because of this, then I will not do things I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The pain is there. Okay, it's got its place. But do the things you got to do, because they have their own place and necessities to be attended to. And that way you're living. And nothing can stop you while you're a human being. You feel the pain, you feel the challenge, but you keep dealing with it as well. Not that, okay, it's pain, therefore let me just fall in here and just be depressed forever. No. Find your sadness, your depressing time, but you always remember, I must overcome this. I can feel the pain, it's okay. I can feel sadness, okay. I'm depressed, that's okay. But always say, I can deal with it. I can get out of it. I can move on. What things can I do to move on? What things can I do to deal with this? I feel it, but what can I do? Look, you got a cut. And say, okay, I see the cut, the bleeding. Now, what can I do? Okay, I got to put, clean it up and maybe put, I don't know, polysporin on it or some kind of a, sterilizing thing. And maybe clean it with alcohol and put, old times mercurochrome, I guess, something like that. We used to call it the red stuff to disinfect it. Or whatever it is, and then put a Band-Aid on it. So we would deal with it. Not like, okay, it's bleeding. Okay, let's bleed. What good? It won't fix by itself. You gotta do something. Keep it clean, keep it covered. Same thing. Pad it up, cushion it. Same thing. You feel depressed, you feel sad, okay, cushion it. Tell yourself, okay, this is temporary. This is part of life. I'm gonna be okay. There are other girls. There are other possibilities and things I gotta accomplish. Remember, I wanted to do that accomplishments, that project, that job, that money. I wanted to make that. Things that I wanted to pursue. I still got to do that. Well, yeah, it's painful, but I still got to, because life goes on. I want to build. I don't want to lose opportunities that I need to take care of just because I'm depressed, just because I broke up. Because once, and I know I will not be feeling this way all the time. Once these feelings go away, I don't want to look back and say, oh shit, I missed the time, because while I was depressed or broken up and going through those feelings, I didn't attend to the things that I should have attended, my job, my studies, my exams, and I lost the opportunity for the results that I was looking for if I would have done what I had to do at that time. I took a break from them, so I allowed my breakup to actually make my projects suffer, my life, what I wanted to build, suffer, my opportunities to go away, my job, I lost it, my exam, I failed in it. So I didn't just break up, because the breakup by itself, eventually it will go away and get healed. But I allowed the breakup to actually fuck up my life, because I couldn't focus on the fact that this will be fine. I just got to deal with it. I clean it, I pat it, I cover it, and I go on to the hunt, to my life, to keep doing and attending to my duties and responsibilities. That's the way you should deal with it. Otherwise, you can be incapacitated in everything that happens in your life. A funny thing is that, God forbid, somebody in your family dies. Eventually, you come to terms with it and say, okay, I mean, what's more important than family? Your father dies, or your mother dies, or your children, or your spouse, and you come to terms with it eventually. As awful as it sounds. But then a girlfriend breaks up, you suddenly think that's the end of the world. And she's thankfully alive, doing her things, and you're alive, other opportunities, and there are so many other girls or opportunities out there for both of you, and suddenly you think, what, that's the end of it? But the ones that actually ended do not represent end for you. You can handle it, but the one that is actually in the life is not ended. The what is actually make everything else happen, which is your lives, is not ended, but you actually feel that the life has ended. When your parents or somebody close dies and their life is ended, you don't think it's the end of anything to stop you from your life. It doesn't end anything for you. But when a relationship ends and you're both still alive, can experience all the other opportunities and go on, you think something has ended, which is your life. And you lay there in your bed all day long, do nothing. And you allow your jobs to be suffering, your exams, whatever it is that you were trying to accomplish, suffer. And when that real pain goes away and you don't even think about that breakup anymore, you still have to pay for the consequences of your lack of attention to what is most important, which was your job, your exams, your studies, your projects, whatever it was that you were building. Don't let that happen. Be the boss. All right, Daniel. Was it Daniel that asked a question? No? He just wanted to say thank you. How did we get here then? Anyhow, Sid says, male 31 Estonia, hope you're doing well. Thank you, Sid. How are you? Roberta says, Mehran, Rob from London, 25. Hello, Rob. Mehran, how do you trust yourself? If I don't trust myself, who can I? I always feel down and feel like every girl I will have will leave me and get bored of me. Then find the one that doesn't get bored. There was a village in old Japan, old Japan, that was always being run over by bandits. They would come, steal their rice and food and chicken, whatever they had, and they would threaten them, beat them up, and they go. And this was happening every once in a while when the crops were new and when they wanted food, they come to that village and ransack it and get their food, and and the villagers would hide their women, hide their rice, hide their food, but they had to give up whatever they had, crop and so on. So that was the story. So eventually one day the farmers in that village, they said, what do we do? So we got to go to the old man who lives outside the city and ask him for advice. So they went to the old man and they told him, what do we do? We're always getting all beaten up and stolen our goods and food and can't live like this. What do we do? The old man says, go hire a samurai. So what samurai needs money. How can we pay for the samurai? They said, offer them rice. You have rice. So a bunch of them, candidates from the city council, the village, they go to the big city and they look for samurai. They're standing around looking for samurai, and they can see old time who's samurai, and they all look strong and fit and sharp and with their katana sets and all the swords and all that hanging. So every time they approached a samurai and told them, they came back to the old man, and the old man says, why? Says, well, every time we found a samurai, we told him, he beat the crap out of us. So why? He says, because we said, we can give you rice. He said, what do you think? I'm a beggar, Rice, beat the crap out of us and kicked us out and didn't even listen to us. The old man said, go find a hungry samurai. Pretty wise. Read into it. So when you tell me that I always feel down and feel like every girl I will meet, I will have, will leave me and get bored of me, look for a girl who eventually is not bored of you, who's got the spirits, who's not looking for entertainment, looking to build something. Choose a girl that is not bored of you. She being bored is not your trait, is not your expertise. You're not causing that. You're not getting a girlfriend to entertain her. It's a relationship. It goes both ways. So find a girlfriend. Until then, doesn't matter. Every one of them can leave if they want. But continue the experience until you find a woman who's not coming to your life for entertainment. Is coming to interact with you. Then she's no longer bored. What are you? An amusement park that you're supposed to be responsible if she's bored or not? Find a woman who's got things going for her. She's got plans, she's got a career, she's got things she want to accomplish. She's not there to look like a trophy, to be, taken out and dinner or travel so she won't be bored. She's responsible for her own mood, as you are responsible for your own mood. You can't expect a woman to be responsible if you're bored or not. You're supposed to be active, innovative, engaged in life, have activities, positive activities, so you will fulfill your life on your own. Not that she's responsible that you will not get bored. And the same thing for her. You're not responsible for her for not get bored. The ones who get bored and leave, they're not qualified. They can leave. And you look for the one that you can see she's got things going for her and she's not getting bored. Find a hungry samurai, someone who's hungry for a good quality relationship, not an entertainment or amusement park. Relationship is not to be treated as an amusement opportunity. It should have same kind of a intent and motivation from both sides. If you're both into it for entertainment, it'll work. If one is into it for relationship, interaction, learning, experiencing, building something, and the other one is not, it's not going to work. That's why it is important for you both at any age, mostly at older age. Younger age, you don't even know what you are all about, let alone each other, or expect anything from the relationship. You don't even know. You think it's all physical. That's okay for now. But then when you really want to be in a serious relationship, you got to figure out, talk to each other, what is the direction? What is the motivation? What is the reason for being in a relationship? Are you guys headed in the same way? You want to build something, you want to learn from each other, you want to share things, you want to interact, you want to bond on consciousness level, or you just, one of you wants to have fun, the other one wants to build something. All right. We go to Sophie. Sophie, 21, Greece. X was 22. Thank you for a good information to begin with, because it's important for me to know what your ex, how old your ex was. Sophie, 21, from Greece, says, X was 22. We stopped talking in the end of November and haven't talked since. What bothers me is that I didn't feel I got any closure because it was sudden. Sophia, there is a video I have on my channel called Closure. I think there are 3 or 4 of them, but one of them is the one that is actually called Closure. Watch that one, and it'll give you the answer in that for that part of your question. It says, what bothers me is that I didn't feel I got any closure because it was so sudden. Yeah. Why do you need closure? Closure for what? Are you not sure of yourself? Are you not confident who you are? You need somebody else to tell you that you're a good girl, but I just didn't feel it anymore. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you, it's me. There is nothing wrong with you of any sort if somebody leaves you. Nobody, whether the girl leaves the guy leaves the girl. There is nothing wrong with the other side. Unless one of you have been abusive, that is not acceptable. Physically, mentally, emotionally, if any of you have been abusive, well, that's not acceptable. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about both of you being cordial, decent, and regular problems. So when both of you are just as good as you've ever been, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just a matter of you guys didn't try to connect on consciousness level. All your connections were based on fun, things to do, sex, intimacy, hug, smile. That was the depth of it. So you never really got to know each other. And now you wonder why it didn't work. Why was it sudden? It's always sudden. It's always sudden. You just don't get to hear about it until it comes to action. But it's always sudden. Eventually, one of you at one time decides, that's not working for me. Now, from the time you figure that out to the time that you express it and communicate it to the other side, it's a time passing, but it's already happened. So the point here is that you guys didn't even know each other. So you shouldn't wonder why it broke up, why it's sudden or not. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you guys never connected on deeper level, on consciousness level. You don't even know each other. You know, you have an idea of the guy in your head. You have created an image of the guy in your head about the guy. And he has created an image of you, about you, in his mind. These two images, how you see each other, plus how you see yourself. You have an image of yourself, of you in your mind. And you have an image of the boyfriend, of him in your mind. He has an image of himself. He sees himself in a certain way in his mind. And he has an image of you, about you, in his mind. These images, the two images of you, of him and his, and of you, image of you in him and the image of him in you, these two images are having a relationship. And because there's no depth, it is just based on images and how you guys look and how you guys, spend time with each other. That's it, pretty much. Bunch of mechanical processes. Go here, go there. At that age, you hardly know each other, let alone know, you hardly know yourselves, let alone know each other. And therefore, at that age, it's so limited that it's not going to last. It's going to tear apart anyhow. Because it's based on things that are not stable, that are not known. They're being developed. They haven't shaped well yet. I don't know what example, like maybe it's like making a cheese. When the cheese hasn't gotten hard yet, hasn't cured yet, every time you want to, it's just like a, fluid, it falls apart. Because it hasn't really found itself, grasped it, it hasn't cured, it hasn't become what it's supposed to become to then have a certain kind of a proper expression of itself. That's the best I could do right now. So the same thing, you guys don't know enough about yourselves, let alone each other, so therefore it falls apart. because the images are having a relationship, not you two. You never got to know each other, because knowing each other is about knowing each other's consciousness, knowing each other's fears, desires, to know what desire is, how is it born, how does it come together, about each other's ego. Is a 22-year-old guy has got ego coming out of his, nose, and you have certain ego yourself, everybody does, and you don't know even what they are. You think you're being controlled by your ego, or you got to follow your ego. That's the direction you take in dealing with your partner, ego-driven or desire-driven, pleasure-driven. You no idea about the effect of your consciousness on you and how you use that in negotiating with his consciousness and vice versa. So obviously it falls apart. So what closure do you need? Closure for what? Even if you get a closure, what does that mean? You got to focus on life. That understand that this was a relationship. Okay, it's like a warm-up game. I'm learning it. I'm practicing it until I become really good at it. Like we spoke about it other times, like any sports. You train, you practice. Gymnastics, soccer, tennis. You train. It's warm-up games. These are not tournament games, real games. That's what they are. So win or lose, closure or not, doesn't matter, because it was just a way for you to get to know this system and how to deal with the emotions that comes from it if it doesn't work out, or if it does work out, to learn those emotions. These are all warm-up games. None of them are serious. You've got no business to actually expect this relationship of a 22-year-old or 21-year-old girl actually goes anywhere deep. It goes maybe for 6 months or a year, I don't know, 2 years maybe, and then it breaks up, because it does, because you're developing, you're growing, you're learning about yourself. As you learn about yourself, you learn your expectations are going to be changing, because you grow, you develop your expectations. Your understanding of yourself and understanding what you expect from your partner will also develop and grow and change. So naturally it's going to break off. That's the closure you need. There's nothing wrong with you. That's the nature of things. That's okay. That's natural. But look at the closure. And you don't need closure. What closure? Well, the guy didn't like you, or you didn't like him, or he wanted somebody else, or you wanted somebody else. It doesn't take anything off of you. The guy choosing somebody else does not diminish you of any kind. Just means that his understanding or expectations of that at this level was not up to the point to understand and appreciate your qualities. It doesn't take away from your qualities. It actually tells you that the guy couldn't qualify to see diamond. If somebody goes to a jewelry store, they put a diamond and cubic zirconium and a crystal glass in front of him, and she or he chooses the crystal, suddenly because of this choice that he didn't choose the diamond, diamond's value doesn't come down and become devaluated. Still a diamond, still has its own value. Just the guy didn't know any better to understand that this is a cubic zirconia or is a crystal piece. That was his level and limit of understanding and expectations. He has no more knowledge or qualification or expectation or taste to know and choose and appreciate the diamond. So always think of yourself as the diamond that some idiot who was an expert to know what jewelry is like chose a crystal glass or a cubic zirconium, because he doesn't know any better. He doesn't have the capacity to appreciate you. So what closure? But watch that video, closure. Maybe that will be something helpful to you. Sophia. All right. Sid says, I have been applying all you told me to and have been reflecting on our conversation. I can honestly say that it has been helping me a lot. Now I'm forgetting her piece by piece. You know, we have a video called How to Delete Your Memory. On that video explains in detail how the neurons work and why you remember things and how to forget things. And often when you want to forget things, you keep thinking about them to forget them. the more you think about them, the more synaptic neurons, the bridges between the neurons, are created. It's like saying, I want to forget how to play piano, so I'm going to keep playing it and think about how to forget it. As long as you keep playing it, there will be more and more bridges, synaptic neurons, that are going to be created, making you to be better and better at piano playing. If you want to forget about something, you don't need to think about it to forget it. You simply need to focus on things that you like to do. For example, you want to forget about piano? Well, keep playing tennis or play guitar. By the fact that you're doing something else and not doing this, the synaptic neurons that are connected to playing piano and being good at playing piano will be marked with the protein, I think, CQ1. And this protein is going to be marked on those bridges, marking those bridges. And when the glial cells, microglial cells, when you sleep, go around and look for these bridges that are marked by this protein, find them, and they destroy them because you didn't use them. That's why your piano playing, if you don't play it for a couple of years, you're not as good anymore. You don't play it for 6 months, you're not as good anymore. Tennis, the same. You keep playing, the neurons are created. You stop playing, after a while you're not playing, the learning bridges for you to be a good tennis player will be marked because they're not being used, they're not in use, and the brain needs them to learn other things, use them to learn other things. So it wants to destroy that bridge between the two neurons by marking them the CQ1, and the glial cell, microglial cells, goes around, finds them, destroys them, and now they're ready and available for you to use them for other things that you want. A guitar. Now they start building the bridges so these information can pass through the end of the neurons through those bridges about playing guitar. So we have an ability to learn things, and we also have an ability to unlearn things. The unlearning is when we don't pay attention to something, when we don't do it, when we don't keep doing it. So you, by keep doing what you got to do in life and not thinking about, I got to forget about her, I got to forget about her, you know, you don't need to do that, because that's going to keep the bridges alive, active, because they're still being thought about. She's still being thought about. And then you're keeping those bridges between the two neurons about her active. Once you start focusing on your life and understanding what life is all about, what your duty in this life is, what your command for you is, what your destination is, what your plans are, and you focus on that, then naturally the bridges that are between the two neurons having to do with her will naturally be unlearned, become available for other things. And that's when the process of forgetting. So there's a video called How to Delete Your Memory, which I'm sure you guys will enjoy it if you search it on my channel search engine. It will go into detail. But in short, that's how it will happen. It's not your doing that you will forget. It's your doing other things that you will forget about the things that you're not doing. Like, you know, when they say practice makes perfect, it just means the more you play, the more you practice something, the more bridges between the neurons going to be built, and neurons going to be dedicated for that exchange of information between the neurons about that subject, whatever it is. And when you don't practice, the reverse happens. It's because the neurons going to be bombed out and destroyed, and the bridges of passing those information are broken, and then now you can use those bridges for other things, because there's only so much neurons and bridges that want to be active to help you learn things and so on. So they need that space. They need to clean up what is not being used. So if you don't use them, if you don't think about it and focus on other things, you'll naturally eventually get rid of it faster. Has anyone had the chance to respond to Olga about if it's lagging for you as well? I think Nasro said it's lagging, and Olga said, but the rest of you seem to be okay. Mine is lagging as well here, but I don't know how you guys see it the other end. Sophie says we actually broke up some weeks prior to that, but kept contact and even saw each other 3 times, and it seemed like he didn't want for us to be apart, but circumstances had it. He had to join the army. And then he visited the town where I study and seemed like he wanted to see me, but stood me up. And when I confronted him about it, we had a fight during which he was very cold, and then we stopped talking. And it just feels very sudden, and I feel like he's blaming me for the bad things happening in his life, national service, and cutting me off. Oh, that's the way he's dealing with it. So obviously he's very young and he's not really prepared to deal with these things, having a girlfriend and worry about if she's going to wait for me or not, and going to the army. And I don't know what the situation with the army there is, but is he going to get some leave of, going to be able to see you or not? Or maybe he's just simply, that's his way of, dealing with it, and wants to focus on his service and get that over with and not have to worry about the relationship. Whatever it is, it's okay. It's part of his journey and part of your journey. You're just 21. He's only 22. You don't know enough to even, wonder where this would have gone. At this moment, it's pleasant for you guys to be together, and unpleasant to think that you guys are not going to be together. But a little bit later on, you both meet other people, and you will think of this as a memory as part of your life, but not the memory or the most important thing in your life. So treat it that way. Don't give it more number than it deserves. But I know at this age it is very hard for you, because you feel so womanly when your boyfriend is around, and your boyfriend feels so manly when the girlfriend is around. And these are, at this age, are so important. But it is part of the whole journey of life. It is not something against you or limited to you or why me. It happens for everybody, because life is a current, is moving, is a flow. It's the way of the river. The river is coming and making some reactions and making differences on things that is touching and passing by, and then it moves and goes. And sometimes we don't swim at the same pace in order to stay together on this flow, and we get separated. And that's okay, because there are other things that has the same speed in their life or movement like we do, and then we find compatibility with them in this river, and we enjoy the flow there a lot more than this one that seemed to have different flow. Each person's life has a different flow. It's not all the same speed, same thing, different speed, different things that are happening for each one of us. And finding harmony and compatibility with that flow, with that quality of the flow and speed and all that, is what makes some things don't work and what helps some things do work better. So understand that, and don't think there is anything bad has happened here or any misfortune or anything. Just, that's life. It is at this age. Nothing is certain. Everybody has so many different tangents that they have to deal with. He has to go to service, or maybe he doesn't have the interest anymore. And the fact that he stood you up, that's the question that I'm asking here. If he was really that concerned about that, he really wants to be with you, but he's, I don't know, wants to push you away because he's going to service, that's all kind of a little bit bullshitty. Not that you're saying bullshit. I mean, this sounds funny, because if that was the case, he would be more inclined and focused to make sure he will meet you at the time that he said, and would not stand you up, because he wants to make sure that you guys are together as long as you can before he goes to his service or whatever the situation may be. So to me, it seems like you don't need a closure. You just need to understand that he wants to move on, and let him move on. That's the end of it. There's so many other opportunity is going to come your way. You're just 21. There are going to be guys lining up in every stage of your life, and you get to choose. Excalibur says, holy pepperoni. Okay. That's good. Mehran is live from the land of ice. Yes, it is. Okay. How are you, dear? Thank you. Good, Excalibur. Hope you're doing well as well. He says, I missed the previous stream to wish you a very happy new year with many tea, magic, potions, and long walks on the beach. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And happy new year to you too as well. And for everybody, as I'm sure if you have checked the previous video, I wished everyone happy new year, and I do the same as well here. And thank you for your kind words, Excalibur. Excalibur says, it's cold as heck here. I had to buy an electric heater to survive. Oh, really? That cold? It's not that cold here yet, or maybe I'm kind of okay with cold. Natalie says, what do you do when you are almost over your ex? Jubilate. You're not angry with them. You feel disappointed and empty. I think that being angry with them helps me to move forward and active toward my goals. Is it normal? Female 31. Of course it is normal, because you always take a breakup personal. You don't have to, but that is what we do. We think it's a direct reflection to us. Like, I wasn't good enough. I was bad. I didn't measure up. Because all through our lives, we've been conditioned that unless we're compared and get favorable result and review, we don't measure up. We're not good enough. All through our lives, we've been faced with facial expressions, words, emotions, and attentions, which makes us feel worthy, accepted, good or bad. And usually when we do something good, something is given to us. When we were a child, a candy or a pat on the back or hug or a smile. And if they were not pleased with us, not that we did anything wrong maybe, but it wasn't the way they wanted us to behave, and we were frowned upon or not paid attention to or kind of ignored maybe, or maybe not given the candy that we hoped to get, or the favor that we asked, the ice cream or whatever, or the smile. And so we learned we did something bad by those reactions. So when we got something, we felt approved. When we lost something, whether it was the emotion, attention, the smile, or the candy, we felt we've been bad. We did something bad. So when in a relationship, when two people get together, they feel so happy, they attend to each other, pay attention to each other, and all that represents that you're good, you've done good, you've been approved, and they're happy with you, so you feel good that you're good. But when they leave, which is something taken away from you, denied you, which is the same as that candy, that smile, that hug, that not being paid attention to, ignored or abandoned in a way for that moment, we remember that and we think, okay, this person left us, that means I am not good anymore, I'm bad. So it is not that we really have become better or bad when we are in a relationship or broken up. It is the conditioning that makes us feel this way, because this is supposed to trigger that kind of a perception and that kind of a feeling and interaction that you received when you were a child, because you're conditioned to take it as given to you, I'm good, taken away, diminished something, I'm bad. So the feeling you have, the anger, is not about you find that person responsible to give you a feeling that makes you feel bad. And you're angry of that because All you care about is to be good, to feel good about yourself. And that behavior of taking away something, the relationship away, makes you feel like you've done something bad because you're being denied of an approval. And that's what makes you angry. Otherwise, why can't you be angry at the guy? I mean, who gives a shit? The guy left. Good riddance. Go away. Why do you want to be with someone who actually doesn't want to be with you, or someone who doesn't pay enough attention to you, or someone who's not happy to be with you and actually chooses to leave? Why do you want to be with someone or find someone qualified who actually wants to leave? The heck with him. Wants to leave, leave. You want somebody who wants to stay. So if he does that, that's not a reflection on you. That's his inability to commit, inability to enjoy, inability to benefit or understand or appreciate your qualities. His shortcoming, inability of him, not you. But you have turned it into, if it's something wrong with you because of his action, which triggers what you have been conditioned to think and feel since childhood in such conditions. Denied, taken away, then I am bad. You always thought it's their actions interprets your quality, how you should feel, how you are. It's their actions. Why would it mean you're bad? You did something against what they wanted you to do. So they're feeling that you didn't comply to what they wanted you to do, but you didn't want to do that. So there was nothing bad about you. You didn't think that I'm going to stick this to his side or to his face and scratch him with this needle, or scratch his or mom's face or dad's face or whatever. You didn't feel like that. That makes you bad. But you didn't feel like that. You felt you were bad because you didn't comply to what they expect you to comply as, and their reaction towards what you did or did not do makes you feel the way you felt, good or bad. That wasn't the reflection, but because you're conditioned that way, now this time that this guy leaves you, you think that's an indication for you to be bad. Something wrong with you. You're angry that you tarnished the image you had of yourself, of you in your own mind, and this action of the guy has tarnished that image because you don't feel that image is beautiful, is good. You feel that image is tarnished. Therefore, that makes you feel you're not good enough anymore. That changes your understanding of yourself. That's why you're angry. So you are angry at him because of he interfered with the image you had of yourself in your mind. But that's your image and it's your mind. You can change your image any way you like. Think about yourself any way you want. And nothing can make you feel bad just because they make a reaction. That doesn't change you in any shape or form. It just changes the feeling you have about yourself because of the conditionings that you have been receiving. But in reality, you didn't turn out bad. You didn't become bad. Nothing was diminished from you. You're still as wonderful as ever. Mind and body and physics and looks and everything and intelligence and everything else. But you don't see it that way. You think you should only focus on the fact that you're supposed to react in this kind of a manner and feeling and emotions because you're conditioned to react in this way when something is taken away from you. Now, if you think that way, you will see who's the guy to make you feel angry or bad. You don't have to, because you're still the same wonderful person as you've always been. Hope that will give you something to think about. And Sophie says, I still hold on to the hope that we'll start talking again because I miss him as a friend as well. But at the same time, my pride is hurt and wish I had cut him off. I'm being selfish. No, you're not being selfish. That's all right. The guy, doesn't pay attention to you. He doesn't deserve to be hanging around with you. Look. Unless it's a cordial, honest relationship and mutually fulfilling and positive, guys at the age 22, like from age 18, 19, 20, they're just, beyond beside themselves. They're romantic for their girlfriend. They love her because she's the world to them. It's the first time they had sex, or the first time some woman pays, some girl pays attention to them, and in a relationship, they're very good, and they get hurt a lot when the girl leaves them, because girls at such ages are finding themselves being so popular among all the other young men at the same age, and therefore they kind of and they still don't know what they're looking for or who they are themselves, so it breaks up. And usually boys at that age, 17, 18, 19 and 20, they get hurt pretty bad. But about age 20, they learn that at age 21, 22 or so, they learn that there are other opportunities that they want to explore, and they get more attention. Like the girls used to make attention at lower age, and now they get attention at this higher age from other girls. And they want to try, they want to have sex, and they think that to be a top dog, an alpha male, is just to have more girls. So they don't mind to break it up and go and find somebody else. So that's the mentality of it. So at this age, you should expect that, okay, he could have many reasons. I don't know what the reason is, and it's not necessarily what I'm saying, but could be the fact that he's at the age that he wants to explore more, and that's okay. That doesn't diminish anything from you. It has got nothing to do with you, your qualities, your wonderfulness, your amazingness, none of that. It just tells that's the stage he is, like the stage that the girls are from that age, 18, 19, 20, that they think they're just all that. They get lots of attention, and 22, 23, 24. The girls become even more and more sure of themselves the older they get, up to a certain age. And so they don't give a damn, really. They break up with guys more often than the guys break up with them. But in this particular bracket of the age, he may be that he's just feeling that it's time for him to see what else is out there. Not necessarily about you, it's about him and his stage of being. So what I'm trying to tell you is that don't worry about it. It's not selfish. You're thinking correctly. It's okay. And you will have other young men interested in you, and he will have other opportunities, and that's okay. That's part of the stage of life. So it's not selfish. Take care of yourself, and it's all right. And don't worry about the ego or whatever. You're still as good, and he's still whoever he is. And you just guys don't hit it off at this age, and that's okay. Let it go and move on, and you'll find great comfort and happiness again, and lots of attention will come to you again. Don't worry about it. And Sophie says, I'm also afraid I won't find some. Don't be afraid. I have this much chemistry with. Oh, that's quite nonsense, Sophie. You, how many people have you met that you felt, oh, this is the only one that I can have this chemistry with? No, you will have chemistry with so many, because there's so many wonderful guys out there that you will meet, but you can't expect to meet them all at this age now, just to be sure that, oh, there will be other ones that I will, hit it off in chemistry-wise, chemically. No, you will, but you're still young. You're just 21. Wait, finish your education, focus on your life, build yourself, accomplish yourself more, and you will become far more sought after once you're accomplished, educated, and you got a good job, and you are capable, and you're, self-sufficient, independent, and that's what attracts a lot more quality young men towards you, because you have made something out of yourself. And you also would feel much more confident that you don't feel like you got to say okay to every Tom, Dick, and Harry come along. You will qualify them. Who is this guy? What is his education? What is his job? What does he do? What is his mentality? Not that, oh, this is a guy. Okay, yeah, chemistry. Okay, good. He's good looking or whatever. That's it. No, you got to have more expectations from a boyfriend that you want to commit into a good relationship. So there will be. That what you just said has no basis. You will have many other people that you will find chemistry. Even right now, you don't even know about your own chemistry. So how can you expect to have found the right guy which has really good chemistry with you? Your chemistry is still developing. So in a few years, you will know more about yourself, and then you know what to expect from your partner. And then when you meet someone, you will look for real matching chemistries, not just a surface limited amount. And that's when you will begin to see if how wonderful and what higher quality relationships awaited you, which you fret for it for no reason. Somebody says, this old man knows nothing. You can be happy and you don't need to worry of your friends. So I guess Onisim can simply join another live chat if he doesn't enjoy this interaction. All right, let's go to Natalie. Natalie says, after breaking up, I turned to practicing self-love. Sleep, meditate, all right. We don't like people who are disrespectful. Let me put this guy on timeout a little bit so he will. All right. Natalie says, after breaking up, I turned to practicing self-love, sleep, meditate, meditate, walking long distances, taking care of my health, etc. So much in a better position. And a few days ago, I realized I don't need them. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's perfect. Okay. All right. Let's see. M.A. says, Mr. Mehran, I have chronic fear from poverty. Who doesn't? I'm not enjoying my life anymore and just keep saving money. 29 male from the Arab world. Honestly, I didn't think there's going to be anyone who's poor in Arab world. I just maybe don't have the right understanding. I was always under the impression that there's so much provided by the government to Arab citizens of the Arab world from the resources that is available in that neck of the wood. So I never thought poverty would be a concern there. But obviously my knowledge is so limited about how things work in your country. But regardless of what, says, I am not enjoying my life anymore and just keep saving money. You see, I don't know how much money you make and how much expenses you have, what things you think you should not spend your money on, what things you should be saving or what things you should be spending. So I really can't be that helpful because I don't know detail. But in general, the question would be, what are you making the money for? Are you living to make money? or are you making money to live? If you're living to make money, you're wasting your life. Because no matter how much money you have, it's like saying, if I keep my money, I'm also will be fed. Well, you got to spend your money to turn the money into something that you need, which is food, fruits, things that you need, hygienes, clothing, so you won't be cold, so medicine, doctors, attention. This is what the money is for. So you got to be spent. You make something to use it. Why do you buy something? You buy a car and then you don't use it. You provide yourself with some kind of, I don't know, chair, you won't sit on it. Everything has a use when you try to attain it. Money the same. You work, you make efforts, so you get money. Now you don't want to use the money? What did you try to get it for then? So you need the money, and you can't use the money unless you use the money. In other words, money sitting there doesn't do anything for you unless you use it. You get the benefit of the money unless you use it. Now, I'm not saying go and splurge and, throw it all around. But I'm saying for things that brings you joy and happiness, and you can afford it within your budget, set a budget, and then you can simply enjoy the money that you made. Why not? All right. MA says, Mehran, okay, we talked about that, all right. Okay, Natalie says, though with this feeling also came emptiness. Oh, with the feeling that you think you don't need him. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, when you think you don't need him anymore, that means there's nobody else available for you to need either. That's not the case. You're just saying this clothing doesn't fit you. Doesn't mean that you don't want to find other suitable clothing for you. This handbag, you don't need it anymore. Doesn't mean you don't need another handbag. This car, you don't need it anymore. Doesn't mean you don't need transportation. You can still get a transport. You can take a taxi or take a bus. So it simply means you don't need him, not that you don't need or you believe that there's no one else that you could need or you find. You don't need someone who didn't need you, or at least that's how he behaved. And that's okay. But it's not the end of your need, and it's not the end of opportunities that exist out there and availability of more qualified and matching individuals. So, and Natalie says, I don't have to prove him anything anymore. Does this emptiness means that I moved on for good? You don't have to prove anything to him anymore. You don't have to prove anything to him ever. Even when you're with him, you got to prove things to yourself. You got to live according to the standards that you think it's mutually beneficial for both of you, and you feel that's appropriate for a relationship, and that's how you conduct yourself. It's not about proving something, so therefore you become a toy into the hands of that person. So you will just try to do what he says in order to prove to him that you're worthy according to his expectations rather than according to decent expectations that you have of yourself for building a relationship. So don't be sucked in that you have to prove yourself to anybody. You have to prove yourself to yourself based on how you see life and what the needs are in that life to build what you're setting out to build. And it's not an emptiness. It's not an emptiness. It's just in a space for you to allow somebody else and something else to come and find space there. Take your attention for it. Now, Gerald says, "Hi Mehran, I love it when you express yourself to us, especially when you get mad at us. We appreciate that cause we appreciate that cause we are all so stubborn and seem to can't get out of thinking about our ex." Yes, that is a big problem. That you simply, it has a lot to do with the question that I posed to you guys before, earlier, and nobody has commented on it, which is, why do you believe your thoughts? Why do we believe our thoughts? There is the answer to many of your questions. Thought is just that. Thought. Thought is not an actuality. Thought wants to replace the actuality, often tries and succeeds, replaces the actuality of things. And you believe your thoughts. Why do you believe your thoughts? That's what I want you guys to think about, and we can discuss it the next time. I'm not going to go into it now. Natalie says, "Thank you very much. You're quite welcome, dear. I'm delighted that it was helpful to you." I don't know who was that person that for the first time joined us and started being negative toward our program and pretended he's a know-it-all suddenly. Anyhow, if there is no positive purpose here, we'll cut him off. This is discussion. If you're cordial, polite, respectful to everybody and to the whole spirit of this thing here, we'll attend to your question or your concern. You want to belittle anybody here? You want to object or be defiant or disagree with what I say? That's fine. But say it properly, discuss it, and then perhaps we get somewhere by either I'm convinced or you're convinced. Trying to bully someone here or be disrespectful or use demeaning words, there's no place here. We'll just kick you out. That's the end of that. I've had enough of that kind of a negative mentality. People need to have manners. If you don't, it's not a place for you here. Now, we have MA says, oh, we dealt with that. Dealt with that. Sid says, "I have a question, all right? I have a need for a sip of tea." How about that? He says, "I have certain regrets for things which I have done in the past. All right? For instance, I have lost some friends over the years, been unethical sometimes." Depends on what. That's a big spectrum. Unethical. Unethical could mean anything. I don't know. Did you fart in a public place? Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, you'll deal with it next time. Or did you steal some money from someone's pocket? It's two different things. So laying that word on yourself or here on me, I don't know the extent of it. So otherwise I could make a comment to address it, but I can't address it because I don't know the detail of it. But knowing you, I'm 100% sure that when you say unethical, it's something like you didn't say hello to someone with a good smile, because that's you're too one of those kind people pleaser, and you kick yourself in the head. That's pretty flexible though. Kick yourself in the head. That why you didn't treat this person the best way. It's just too much, if that's the case. But that's what I think what you mean when you say unethical. Which means, in that case, in that level, so what? A big deal. Siddharth continues, says, for instance, when, oh, okay, there we go, you're explaining. Okay, thank you. My bad, I had to continue. I should have continued reading. It says, for instance, when doing my bachelor, asked parents for money to go to learn a course and use the money for traveling. It's okay. That's all right. It's not that big of it. It's your parents and you're a kid. You're their child. I bet you in a few years when you sit with your mom and dad and you reminisce this and you say that, you say, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm sorry, Dad, this is what I did, forgive me, and they will laugh at you because at that time you're too old to be spanked. Although I disagree with spanking at any age, but it's just a saying. And they will laugh with you and they will enjoy the whole spirit of it. It's, you know, it didn't do anything. Okay, legally they gave that money to you willingly, voluntarily. You asked for a different reason. They gave you the money. So the money part is fair and clear. They gave it to you. You didn't steal the money. Okay, that's clear. Now, you may have changed your mind after you received the money. Well, that's that's what you did with the money, and I think legally you're okay with that. And the fact that eventually one day, maybe 10 years from now, you will sit down over tea and we'll tell them that this is what you did, they'll laugh at you and possibly they may just, you know, give you a little bit of a shoulder tap and fun and laugh with you. That probably will be like saying, oh, you're kidding you. And that would be end of that. So, and then he continues, and use the money for traveling, have watched porn in the past. So what's the big deal about that? What are you, a monk? So you watched porn. As long as you don't watch it all the time, because then you become addicted to it and sensitive and insensitive to sex and intimacy because you've seen it over and over, and then it affects your actual respect for women, your intention for romance. It turns into all being about sex rather than intimacy, romance, love, and attention, and joining and sharing feelings. And at the same time, it makes you insensitive to the beauty of a body of a woman, and you won't get so naturally and readily excited because you've seen it always, you know, in porn movies and naked all the time, so you kind of become insensitive. It's like if you see everybody walking around with bikinis all around, everywhere you go in the malls and your workplace and all that, after a while you're not really that sensitive about when you see someone, a nice a fit body of a woman, you won't be easily excited and turned on because it's become, but if everybody is in proper clothing, and when you go to the beach and you see someone in a bikini, then suddenly that is highly enticing and exciting to you as a what a beautiful fit and interesting and exciting, sexually exciting physical presence. So as long as you don't watch that so much of it, which would affect your respect for women, and you think of every woman that you see is ready to have sex with you or is a sex object, because that's what some of the effects of a too much watching porn could be, that you lose the sight that not every woman is the same, and not every woman is feeling or thinking the same way, or values herself or availability of her body to others in the same way. And you don't want to lose that respect for women. You always want to remember that women are very important, very respectable, deserve to be protected and treated nice and like a gentleman. And intimacy should come after a cordial, proper, respectful interaction and communication and connection and so on, to have meaning. Otherwise, it becomes a mechanical, animalistic thing which it has no meaning, and then it diminishes the value of a woman in your mind. And that's what you don't want to do, because you want to remain a gentleman and appreciative of all that excitement with the right girl. All right, but otherwise, you know, so what? You watched a little bit, and it's okay. And then it says, also drank lots of alcohol in the past. Oh, okay, you were a kid and you did know better. And many people at one point in time do that, and then they learn from it that, listen, I don't like it. It's not a good thing for my health or my body. Doesn't put me in the right mentality and mindset. Makes me not see things as I should, and misjudge things and become weird and behave maybe not proper, and just it's not a good representation of a classy human being to be drunk here and there. And you know, and then they learn from it and they curtail it and they change it and they modify it, learn from that. And so you did have that experience, and everybody, most people will have, and some people don't, some people do, but they learn from it. As long as you learned from it and modified it, and it didn't become your habit or your way of thinking that alcohol is good, is not good. Alcohol is bad, is not good for you. You know, maybe a glass of wine, maybe with a dinner or something, and or a beer here and there, maybe that could have some relaxing effects. But generally, alcohol is toxin. So it goes in, and you know, your liver has to process it and clean it out. There's nothing good about it. And they say, yeah, you know, for older people, maybe a glass of wine or a beer is good because it relaxes the arteries and so on and so on. Okay, that's with scientists, and there is a truth to that. Resveratrol in the wine and all that, but now you have the extracts of that, so you can have it in the form of pill and don't have to have the alcohol in it. And nothing wrong with the wine, but the alcohol. So remembering the alcohol is toxin, is nothing good about it, and then that would perhaps help you to, you know, modify that behavior, and it looks like you have. And he says, I stole things as a kid from the supermarket. Well, remember, you just said as a kid, you were underage and you were a kid and you didn't know better, and you were being taught and you were learning, and obviously you have learned because you've become a scholar and you've become a person of wisdom and direction in life. So it's like saying, you know, I'm not saying condoning it at all, but, and it was definitely nothing that to be proud of, but when you're a kid, you don't have proper judgments. That's why the courts don't have any punishment for the kids of a, you know, lower age. It's like when a kid shits in his pants, I mean, you don't have punishment. It's not like he knew it's a good thing to do. He didn't know better. He shit in his pants because he wasn't, he's still not old enough to understand what is good, what is right, what is wrong. Well, and he does, you know. So I'm sure you learned from all those mistakes. And he says, how can I forgive myself of all these things? It's simple. Understand at what context you've done this and what age it was and how you should think about it. It's not like, what, did you think you're almighty? You came here as what? You were always were with the same wisdom as you have now? Listen, you cannot regret things, because at the time that you did that at your childhood, these things, that's the information you had at the time, and you thought it's okay to do it with the amount of information and wisdom and experience and an understanding of your social duties and responsibilities. That is what was available to you as far as the knowledge. But later on, you got to, now you have different knowledge and understanding about your social duties and responsibilities and behavior, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and that consciousness is changed and modified and updated. And therefore, it is not happening again. And in some things like drinking or the porno now is not happening in the amount that it becomes unhealthy and becomes negative. So you've made all those changes. So what's there to? Life is about this: learning, making mistakes, and learning. And so you're learning from it. And these were not something that you caused, damage to others or caused any malice, things that you were a child and you were experiencing, you were young, and it's nothing to think that is the end of your life about it. What's the big deal? What you think others have been born as a saint? They're all learning. As long as you learn from a mistake and you judge it well, think it through, figure it out, modify your behavior, and figure out pros and cons of it, and then you come to a decision. Well, that's a good way of experiencing and negotiating life and learning from it. Say, how can I forgive myself of all these things? Well, we just talked about it. They're in the past, yes, but they bog me down sometimes. Well, who do you think you are? Like any different than other human beings? Well, a dog is not a dog. It was a puppy before, and then when a puppy was shitting all over the places, and it was trained and learned and educated, and then becomes a dog and helpful and smart and alert, and figures out what is right, what is wrong, and we're all learning from childhood. That's a development. Otherwise, you would have been born just the way you are. A PhD candidate is born. Well, that's not the way it is. You're born as a little thingy that has no programs here, no understanding of anything, and you learn things, and that's the whole beauty of it. Or it's like saying what the human being was as advanced and civilized, although we are still uncivilized, as we are today. Then 40,000 years ago, we were a bunch of savages, and we still are actually, but in different way. And then, but we have made lots of different advancements in mentality, in knowledge, in manners, in appropriateness, in laws and regulations, and proper behavior and all that. All that is a development. So we are all growing and developing, and the whole everything else as it too. And so you did too. What are you so hung up on these things? You're just being a little bit expecting too much of it. Well, who do you think you are? Aristotle, born out of the womb of the mother as a scholar? Who did? You made mistakes, now you learn from it. Another example, sometimes in Estonia, when we buy an apple, there are different varieties from cheap to expensive. Sometimes I got the expensive one, and on self-checkout, I bill them as cheap. Well, don't do that. This is wrong, but I did do it in the spur of the moment. Any thoughts? Well, just you learn from it. You see how it makes you feel. You're a fair and just person. You don't even feel good about it that you did mix the two apples. And so just focus more next time, purposely or unpurposely. Don't let it happen this way that it did, because you can see you don't like it. So go with your own feelings that you want to elevate yourself and say, okay, I'm not going to do that. Even though I think this apple's price should be this, but I'm just not going to do it. I either will take it or I won't take it. I agree with the price or I don't. So I don't have to switch the apples. Simple. But you're too critical of yourself. I'm saying that this is good that you're critical of yourself in this way, in the apple case, but you can simply see how you feel, which tells you that you're a just and a good person. And with that note, you can always grow and develop. It's like a self-aware computer that learns from its bugs and mistakes. When you recognize a mistake and take steps to correct it, there is no reason for you to be bogged down with it anymore when it has been in this kind of a level of mistakes. Nothing that's serious. So I think you just got to be proud of the kind of mentality that you have, that you focus and pay attention to these things, and you are perfectly capable of correcting them, which you have done, and understand the pros and cons of it, and you follow your feelings and your heart, and you seem to have a just and good quality personality, heart, and logic, and follow that. And MA says good here, and Preston says mine is good too. JB says, hi Mehran, I fear I've lost energy to start over after a breakup. Are you kidding me? Now what about your job, your where you tuning in from, your age and your gender? Remember, that was our deal. I'll come back to you. I'll go to the next one. Guys, don't forget, I need that information. Where you're tuning in from, how old you are, if you're a man or woman, what your gender is, and what your partner's age is. So that will help me out. So I'll come back to you, JB, as soon as you give me that info. Sahar's style, Sahar, that's a Persian name. It means early morning, dawn. Does it? Yep. It says, I will forever remember the samurai story. Such a wise lesson. Okay, good. Good. I'm delighted you're enjoying it. This is your first time here, Sahar. And where are you tuning in from? Guys, let me know. Where are you tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or woman. Obviously, Sahar is a woman. But put that in there so I know how far where I'm reaching, how far I'm reaching out, and what my demographics are. Abhiraj Gupta says 25. That's it. 25. You shorten the information. Okay. I need to know where. I know. Yeah. You figured that I know that you're from India. Yes. Maybe because your name says. But often many people are like, they have a certain name, but they're like living in different country. Like many of people who are from India, they're in UK or in States. So let me know where you're tuning in from, guys. Don't forget. All right, because you at least put some of it in there, I'll continue with yours. He says, hi Mehran, I am not able to move past her obsession. Well, when you say I'm not able, that means you are not. Because it's all coming from your mind. The mind moves the body. You say, I can't, I can't. I cannot scratch my face. Well, you won't scratch it because you just said, I can't. I don't. I won't. It's no different than saying I won't. Now, often, I can't means I won't. Not that I really am incapable of, you know? So when I say I can't scratch my face, it means I won't. I don't want to do it, right? But really, I can, right? So he says, I am in complete depression, well, because you seem to be enjoying to be incapacitated and not alert and not enjoying your life, because you're in command. You're the boss of you. Nobody can keep you down, let alone a relationship. I wonder, when you are practicing wrestling with your friends and you happen to be, fallen down, and he's holding your shoulders down and trying to get a technical point and put your both shoulders down on the mat, and you just don't. You won't allow. You resist because you know that you don't like to be down. You want to be back on your feet, and you want to be, a contender. You don't want to be subjected to an outside force. So what is the difference when a breakup tries to keep you down and you allow it? Isn't it the same? Or only you see yourself as a physical entity, and unless you're being pushed, you won't push back. If you're being pushed, you won't resist. You will resist because you're going to fall down. And the whole idea is that you don't want to fall down. But when things happen that are not physical, like the emotional things, breakups and all that, you say, okay, shit all over me. It's okay. Sit on my head. I won't move. I won't breathe. It's okay. I'll take... Why? Why is it not creating the same kind of a reaction to in you that you want to rise and push all the debris away and see the sky and soar for stars? Why not? Where is that pride that you so fight with in a wrestling, practice with your friend, or horse playing with your friend, and you just want to, technically put him down and you be the victorious? How come that resistance that comes natural? But because why? Because you think that you should feel this way because that would be a respect to your love, which is your brainchild, and that would mean a sin if you admit that she doesn't deserve you because she left, therefore she's not qualified anymore. You feel this sort of thinking is a sin toward what image you had made of her in your mind by yourself. It's all your brainchild, and you're protecting the image you made of her in your mind by your thinking, which results in the kind of action you're creating in the way you're dealing with life, which is being sad and depressed, so on, because you think you should be there in order to prove your love for her from weakness. You think girls like weak boys. And you think that somebody's watching you to see that you're being sad and crumbled. It will have pity on you, and then she will call you or come at the door, or you will imagine. You live in your thoughts. Once you open your eyes and smell the coffee, there's a world out there. She wasn't the world. She was just a piece of it. And she decided she doesn't want to be with you, and she has all the right to feel that way. And you have all the right to respect yourself and feel, okay, I don't want to be with the one who doesn't want to be with me. And she didn't, so therefore I can see the possibility of the world. There's a world out there. There's wonderful opportunities and wonderful women and girls out there that I can meet and see if they like me and I like them, and qualify each other and go on from there. I don't have any reason to be depressed and wait for a charity of the watcher, which I have created, that watcher in my own mind, from my own thoughts, to look at me and have pity on me, and waiting for that illusory thing to take an action and help me and save me and, encourage me to move on. No, I can do that myself. I can get up and understand that's part of life. And she has all the right not to want to be with me, and I have all the right to go and find another woman. Simple. I decide to disqualify this woman who doesn't want to be with me. I respect her wishes, and I respect mine. Simple. You don't have to lay down there. As long as you lay down there, you will lay down there. Surprise? But that's how it works. But as long as you decide, no, I want to change this. I want to change this feeling of depression. I command my own life, not my feelings after a breakup. So what? I understand. This is part of life. This is normal. That's okay. We all change. She's changed, and I will change to find and set out to find a more suitable girlfriend for myself. That's how you deal with it. And he says, I complete depression due to my immaturity in relationship. There you go. You understood this. This is good. How to handle them. Okay, yeah, that's how you understand. You understand that you don't know how to handle it. And how to deepen the bond. How to do small things. No big deal. This is just a warm-up. You're 25. Go on. Next one. This one didn't appreciate you and you didn't know the game. So, okay, now you learn better. Go on. Don't worry. It's all going to be okay. Jenny Sayed says, hello, dear. It's the first time you're here. Guys, please do not forget to click on like if you like the live stream. Before you forget, And if you haven't subscribed, please click on subscribe and make sure that you join in. By the way, we did finally hit 16,000 just a few days ago. And so that's good. So we are making changes. We're making headways. And hopefully you will not forget to share the videos you like on your social media and promote the channel and our work here as best as you can. And hopefully we'll get to see more subscribers by them finding our channel due to the fact that you guys like and make comments on the videos that you watch and the live talks, which helps the algorithm for the YouTube to recognize us a little bit better, because we're still found accidentally. When they find us, they appreciate the content and they stay with us, but we're not found. So help us be found. Share the videos as much as you possibly can. All the videos that you like. Sophia says, thank you for your answer and your time. We'll check out that video. Okay, good. And Kazi Tuta says, hola Mehran. Hola Kazi. Abhiraj says, this was first serious. I feel I have lost the one, and I have realized through 1 month of no contact, I loved her so much, and why did I feel there was nothing to talk to her during relationship? That's okay. You learn. It's not the end of the world. You learn. It's no big deal. Not a big deal. Kazi says, nice to see you again. Good to see you too, Kazi. Good for you to be here. And sis says, no lags, all is well. Okay, good. Ibs says, if you feel Abhiraj, oh, okay. I feel you, Abhiraj. Okay, you talk to Abhiraj. And Natalie says, no lagging. Okay, good. Yelena, that's a new name I learned. I think you wrote me a few days ago. Was it Yelena? I believe I responded to you, no? It says, hello, 30 years from Serbia. And she says, my boyfriend left me 4 months ago after 6 years. Reasons are my negativity, weakness, not having a good job. We always wanted to get married and have children, but we didn't have finances. I feel betrayed, afraid I'm never gonna get chance to have a child. I feel like I lost everything, and it's getting harder every day. I'm constantly thinking that he is with someone. Who cares? Who cares if he's someone? He can be with whatever he wants. If he does, he doesn't deserve you. Why would you want to be with someone who does not choose you? For whatever reason. Yes, I understand. You said you've been negative and showed weakness and you don't have a good job. Well, which means what? Which means you should focus on fixing the present situations that you do not approve of. And that is, get a job. Focus on getting a job. Become productive, independent. That will make you feel good about yourself. When you feel good about yourself, you're no longer weak. When you feel good about yourself and confident because of your job, and you feel good about yourself, you are not going to be negative. Because negativity is when you don't think you have a solution to possible problems. But when you are making good money and you are happy and feel content and accomplished and confident, then you're no longer thinking that you're incapable of solving things or making efforts to solve challenges as they come by. Therefore, you're no longer going to end up feeling or being or acting, thinking negatively. And that will take care of all that. And then, whether he comes back or somebody else, they will see you in the light that you wish them to see you as what you really are. Look, this negativity and all these other things, they're not a holy grail, and they're not a deity's decree on you. It is the content of your thoughts. Is directed and motivated by your thoughts. You're following your thoughts. Your thoughts have created fear, and the fear makes you feel negative because you feel incapable of dealing with such challenges as they come to your mind. But if you work on that, which the first step would be to get a good job, get a job and feel independent, productive, that gives you a feeling of that I have tools, I have abilities to deal with things. That gives you a feeling of strength, no longer weak. And when you feel that way, you no longer, when negative thoughts come to your mind, you no longer bow to them because you know you're capable to handle things and turn things around and deal with things. And then that would be the beginning of your transformation of what it is that you've been dealing with and giving into. And the next person, or this guy, you know, whoever you're going to be in a relationship with, will see you as a different person, and a different person like you will have all the things that you thought you will never have, the child, the marriage, and all will all happen. You're only 30 years old. You still have another at least 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years to find what you're looking for. You're just 30 years old. Make these changes with strength, with vigor, with determination, and go through that transformation that you're going to be creating by making these little changes. First of all, you can do everything that you want to put your mind to it. You can. The reason that you can't is because you think you can't. It's all about your thoughts. When you think you can, your body follows. So you can get a good job, you will go get a good job. You will have money, and therefore you will feel capable, then you're no longer weak. You have tools and abilities to deal with things. When you're no longer weak, you will not think negatively. And when you do think negatively, you will combat with it and you will overcome it because you know you've got capabilities. Things are happening for you. You've shown it. Prove it to yourself. You've got tools. You've got abilities. And you can deal with those things if they ever happen. But you will not have it in your mind as a default because you have changed your life. You can see you're capable. You've proven to yourself. And those changes prove to you they can also change the things that you don't like in your life, or you want to have something different, which would be family, children, and so on and so forth. These will all can come together. It's all up to you. And Yelena says, I feel guilt because I didn't change myself in time. Don't worry, you can still change yourself. He wasn't the end of the world. He wasn't the representation of total experience of life that you're going through. It was just one fragment of it. It happened to be him, to be your boyfriend, and then it didn't work out. So now you are now more determined to make those changes because you're just 30 and you still have lots of time. But get on with it. Get off your ass and go get that job and make changes that you want to make for yourself and become that candidate that no one can pass by. All those changes are in your mind. There's nothing wrong with you. Recognize it. You're capable. You can do it. And it's as simple as everybody else doing it in every day of their lives. Make little changes every day. Focus on one thing right now. Getting a job. Groom yourself. Present yourself. Make your resumes. Go approach relentlessly. Find connections and so on and so on. And go after it and get it. And that would be the beginning of the changes that yet to come and you want to make. Then no man can easily refuse you because of your confidence, your success, your independence, your ability to come up with productivity. You're productive, you feel good about yourself, you feel confident, and that confidence exudes a certain energy that energy is so palatable to all qualified bachelors. And they will notice it, and they will have a gravitation towards you, and you will then qualify them, see if they're good enough for you to have a relationship with them. Now, Abhiraj says, 25, my ex made out with someone in my absence since she wanted to explore and meet new people. Since I was immature in a relationship, I just felt being loyal was enough to make it work. I just became too sure and started focusing more on other aspects of life. I took her for granted like I do for my family. I'm just so lost that I don't that I don't understand until no contact. I forced her to cheat. No, you didn't force her anything. She cheated because she wanted to cheat. You didn't cause it. Don't take her responsibility for her actions. And if you guys broke up, and what's the cheat? You guys broke up. So she kissed another guy. Well, obviously it's a little bit too soon, but okay, whatever. It's not like she cheated while you guys were together. But even so, it's not your responsibility, it's her responsibility. So don't try to stand up for her, because whatever she did, she decided. You didn't make her to do anything. Don't keep her as the innocent angel and you the one who caused everything. Well, maybe it's two-way. You guys didn't hit it off, you guys were not compatible and things went wrong, or you say some of the things that you did you would have done differently, and obviously it could be something to say about her too. Maybe she could have been more understanding or more communicative, so you guys can figure things out. I don't know what the situation was, but whatever it was, it's gone, it's done, it's okay, and no harm done, in the way that simply it's not the end of the world, and you can go and find somebody else and then engage in that venture. Gerald says, and yet I still want to be with her. I don't remember what the story was, but don't want to be with her if she doesn't choose to be with you. Move on. Nasser says, my dear Mehran, you really helped me how to talk to my ego. God bless you. I really feeling free and happier than ever. Good for you. Delighted to hear that. Mr. Round the Twist. All right. Recent breakup. We have 2 children, ages 2 and 4. She doesn't want to try anymore, although I'm willing. Any advice when kids are involved? I'm crushed yet hanging on. I'm 45, she's 37. Yes, I have a video that I don't know if it's released or not, or it's waiting to be released. It says breakups when children are involved. So please watch that video, because it's a long discussion, I guess, or a little bit longer than what we can have. And I don't have enough information here, what the situation was, what happened, and to be able to advise you. If you really think that is necessary, you can go on my site, guys. I'm only one Skype chat away. You can go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com, and click on Talk to Me for consultation, and you make an appointment, pick up the package that you need to, and then we'll arrange a time, and you have a choice of making your selection of time, and then I'll confirm it, and we'll talk on Skype one-on-one, explore what is concerning you, and then we go deeper into what is. And you all know that up to 1 hour appointment, not the more than a 1 hour appointment packages. Those packages are already heavily discounted. Up to 1 hour appointment, which is going to be, I don't know, for the next short while, until my site is revamped, because I'm having a new site being built and with new products in it and new solutions for the breakup and so on. So until that happens, up to 1 hour Skype consultation booking, I will double it to 2 hours. So you may want to take advantage of that one, and make an appointment, and we'll discuss it with you, what's concerning you in detail, because I don't really have enough information. But do watch the video that I have on this channel that says breakup when children are involved. And I'm going to take a look. Maybe if you make a comment on one of my videos on the channel, any of them, I will see the comment, and I will send you the link of that video if you can't find it. That breakups when the children are involved. I think it hasn't been released. It's on the queue. But anyhow, if you do, I will send it to you. Victor says, Okay. All right. Excalibur says, so Mehran, I actually have a question. Oh, actually, I am rarely living in the now. I don't enjoy many things due to the damn constant feeling that I need to be more, accomplish more, otherwise I'm this, that, etc. Excalibur, I think I addressed this question for you, specifically for you. You asked this question months ago, I believe, and I in detail addressed it. To be more accomplished, more, yeah, I remember that exact question. I feel like I'm a constant race and never take a rest. Yeah, I remember that part of it too. Am I wrong in feeling this way? And if not, is there any way I can stop it? Yes, you can stop it just by just stopping it. Simple. You say you can't be in the now because you're not paying enough attention to the now. You can't be in the present by simply not focusing on the present, but saying, I want to be in the present, but my focus is somewhere else. With your intention, the focus must come with it as well. You must unleash your focus on the present before you can be in the present. You can't just say, I want to be in the present. You know, you can't say, I want to shine the light of my flashlight on this plant here, but you actually have the direction of your flashlight that way, over there. You gotta bring it here with your intention to shine the light on this. Also bring what shines the light on that, the apparatus. So by saying I want to be in present, also bring your focus to present, not by just saying your intention. With your intention, bring the tool that you have. I want to see the detail of this machine, but I'm looking that way. And when I'm looking at it, I'm just looking at it generally, not detail. Focus, paying attention on detail. Yeah? So, Excalibur, and I think that video exists for you still. I don't know if I made it a separate video for you, trimmed it out of that the live discussion or not, but it's there. In regards to Mr. Round the Twist, I have discussed this question of yours in detail in that video that I just named it. But you must remember, you cannot be responsible for the actions and the decisions of your wife when there are children involved. You can talk to her and discuss and bring about the importance of the environment that you create for the children. But if you already have this, done this, and she still wishes to move on, there's nothing you can do about her moving on. But there's a lot you can do about your responsibilities, duties, and your involvement with your children. You must remain the best father you can ever be. Nothing has changed. This is not what the children have chosen. This is what she has chosen, or you too have chosen. But the children did not choose to lose any of you or the environment that they are accustomed to. So you must remain completely involved with your children to be a good father. Love them, provide for them, work for them, spend time with them, share the time with your, I know it's going to be painful, that you're going to say, oh, if I share time with them, then she's going to have time to go and have a relationship with somebody else, and have sex with somebody else and have a boyfriend. Oh, well, yeah, you can't stop that. But what you can do is to make sure that you provide for your children because they did not ask for this change. And if she doesn't understand that and she still wants to continue with her plans and she thinks that's going to make a difference in her life, that's her decision. She's responsible for her actions, and the children will bring it to her attention that one day when they're older, they will show dissatisfaction of that decision that she made, regardless of what she thinks of her, that I have the right, I am free. No, you have the right, but you decided to be a mother and you decided to be a father. This is not a theater or a temporary role to play as a parent and yet accomplish the important task of raising children correctly with emotions that they deserve, security that they should feel. If she doesn't understand that, that's her decision. You cannot do anything about it. But what you can do is that to make sure you spend as much time with your children as you can. Share the times that, and discuss with her that she should have discretion, that when the children are with you, she will go on her dates or whatever it is that she wants to do. And don't bring other guys in front of the children. And you do the same. Don't bring another girlfriend in front of the children. Don't try to replace each other in the new life thingy. Let the children feel psychological security that mom and dad are not together, but they both love us and pay attention to us, and they're good to each other when they communicate. Do not fight in front of the children. Do not belittle, disrespect each other in front of the children. Let the children know that the mama is there and daddy is there. Be respectful to the idea that the children should feel safe, and they will feel safe when they know you guys can communicate. You can be against each other. You can maybe not agree with each other, but do that discussion in private, not in front of the children. Definitely not if it's heated. Behave socially acceptable, behave intelligently and civil in front of the children. Care about each other. Do spend time with the children and you together. Even though you're separated, still can have dinners together once in a while, if not every day. I don't care. I know what I'm saying may seem harsh, but this is what you got to do, the woman and you, to have dinner with your children, spend the time, split the time to take care of the children, do homework, both of you, not just one of you. Do homework with the children. I'm talking about you. I can't know what she has in her mind. You can talk to her. But if she doesn't recognize this humongous important duty of creating that wonderful atmosphere for the children to grow in, that's up to her. But you can discuss that with her. And the behavior after breakup, about other guys coming in front of the children. You discuss all that separately. But what I'm talking about, my point of speaking, is with you. You need to make sure your efforts are positive toward your children. You continue to provide, make money, and if you can help your wife, do help the wife. Give her money to take care of the children. Give her money to make sure that the children have enough. Take care of the children yourself. Split the time between the two. Spend the time as a family, even if you guys are not together. That's okay, because children are very young. If she doesn't understand that, it's unfortunate. If you have to use the legal system of wherever you're from and where you live in, make sure you will have joint custody. Never lose custody. Make sure you have joint custody. Mother and father both are needed for the children to feel that they love them and they take care of them. They need to have that feeling of security in their hearts. And that can only happen if they see the father and mother are not fighting in front of them. The father and mother are both there and they're dedicated, and they don't have to share the mother with some guy, and they don't have to share the father with some new girl. So if you can focus on that, you will feel great about yourself, hopeful, positive, accomplished, confident, proud, and the children will feel safe, secure. There's a dad. My dad is there. And they feel their mom is there. And they won't feel what you guys have created for them. They won't feel the negativity of it. So spend as much time as you can and provide for the children and help the mother and be cordial and civil with the mother and talk to her and sit her on the side and say, listen, dear, we used to be in love. We got married because we were in love, or we have children because we love this. At one point, we can't deny that. Now that we have changed, okay, we have. But let's make sure that the children will not suffer, that the children will not be forced to endure a new situation because you or me have decided that's how we want to continue our life without each other. Or, you know, you want to bring another guy or bring another girl. I mean, you know what's going to happen? We may establish the new modification in our life, or just because we diss each other or whatever it is that we want to prove to ourselves. But what we're doing really is making our children feel unsafe. Because nobody can be more trustable than the father. Nobody can be more trustable than the mother. And we must be responsible for this, you tell her. You share that with her cordially, respectfully, lovingly, fatherly, friendly. So these are our children. We're responsible for them. So whatever it is that you see you need in this life, go do it, but do it when the children are with me, not in front of the children. And let's make sure our coordination, our collaboration, our interactions are in such a way that the children will feel good and happy. And we will spend enough time to each other, with each other, you know, having dinner, cooking, doing stuff like that the children will not be denied from that atmosphere. If that's possible, try to do it. And make sure that we both talk about each other positively in front of the children or behind the children, behind our back. This would help the children. It's not about us anymore. Let's don't compete, because then they will start taking advantage and feel spoiled and play one against the other. And let's be both harmonized in decisions we make for their well-being and the discipline of their daily life, and the things, the activities they should be attending to and feeling good about it. We should be in harmony in those decisions. So they will feel there is a center, there is a core, there is a legal system, there is a system. The system hasn't broken up. They just don't live together. And in that way, the children, as they grow up with proper manners and proper discipline and proper sense of responsibility, and they won't gravitate toward places where they have authorities, such as gangs and bullshit and so on, as they grow up. Now they're very young. But this should be the conditionings that you too will take into heart and put children ahead of everything else and yourselves, and understand every action that you make will affect them and could affect them. And they have to deal with it later on. And instead of later on dealing with it, make sure that you deal with your behaviors today, and so they don't have to. Simple. They will be okay. But as long as you observe certain rules, that even if there would be something for them to deal later on with, they will deal, because you guys, you know, were aware of at least some of the behaviors that you should refrain from. So on that note, I think you should focus on making good money, focus on providing for your children and spending as much time as you can. Don't worry and don't try to put the responsibility on her to take care of the children. Be always active and involved. Be the father that you wanted to be. And it's not about her, it's about the children. So focus on them. And help the wife as well when you can, as much as you can. All right. Hope that will be helpful for you. Mr. Round the Twist. I don't know how you picked up that. But anyhow, that's my 2-bit on it, as much as I could share with you here. And still that other video there, you can take a look at it. Excalibur says, I feel like I'm in a constant... Okay, we talked about that. And Natalie says, thank you once again for emptiness versus space comparison. It cleared my mind a lot and brought me some peace of mind. Good, Natalie. Good. Excalibur says, really? I asked this before? Yes, I think you did, because I remember that. I'm sure the one I asked before was about feeling like not having enough time. Maybe. Maybe. But take a look at it anyhow. I'll try to see. If I could find it, I'll send it to you. But anyhow, maybe if you didn't and I didn't and it wasn't, maybe next time I can address it. Because right now I think it's 3 hours and I'm beginning to feel I need some new tea. Majid says, Salam Mehran, or Mehran Salam, Salam. Excalibur says, such as gang and bullshit. Lol, Mehran, you always gotta crack me up sometimes during the stream. It's a tradition now. Yes, it is. Yelena says, what makes difficult is that I was alone a lot of times due to his work. He worked all over the country. Now I feel like I waited for nothing. That's right, Yelena. That's why you girls never wait until somebody else makes a life for you. Be independent. Have a career. Have a job. Something that you like to do. And don't have to beg for money from your husband or boyfriend. Share things, but you don't have to be manipulated or feeling like you have to put up with all kinds of shit that you don't want to put up just because somebody controls the money. Have a career on yourself. Have something that you're good at, you enjoy, that gives you confidence, gives you life, gives you understanding of what your worth and value is by yourself. And then you have things to share and can provide more than what you could provide if you didn't have any opportunity or any life of your own. And you two together will build something rather than just thinking that you're there and he got to bring the money, and then eventually it gets in his head that you can't do anything without him, and that devaluates you in his mind, and somehow it may make them feel that they're all that and because they have money and so on. So have a career for yourself. Be independent in at least some part of the money. Have enough money for you to not to be fearful to be who you are, and therefore have a relationship on par, on equal basis, rather than on certain kind of a disadvantage because you have to comply and then be controlled or dominated in every aspect of your life, rather than sharing and finding policies that would suit you both in the same qualities and value and towards the direction that you guys have set out to build what you wanted to build. Excalibur says, yes, of course, I understand. Next stream, we address it. No problem. Okay, good. Thank you. Carpe Diem says, the fact people were poor, they were smiling, they were so happy, friendly. I wish I could let go and just be. Letting go of old habits is hard. How can I let go of old habits that prevent me to live? That's exactly for that reason. Your last word. That prevent me to live. You know what that said? You say, how can I let go of old habits that prevent me to live? The whole entire purpose of this whole experience is to live. So what prevents you to live must be disqualified and let go without hesitation, because it is being an obstacle preventing you from the prime directive to live. That is the reason you should follow. Why you should let them go is because they prevent you to live. And your purpose to be here is to live. So that's contrary to the whole, to everything that you're here for. that should be good enough reason. Carpe Diem says, I love seeing other cultures and travel. It has helped me to open up my eyes. All right, it's fair enough. Natalie says, Yelena, you will be in so much position in few months. Ah, okay, Natalie, good. Talking to each other. Excalibur says, you reached the end, Mehran. Time to celebrate. Ah, did I? Do you have any Mehran sign tricks to fall asleep faster? What? Do you have any Mehran signed tricks to fall asleep faster, Lord? What do you mean? You want to fall asleep? I mean, if you haven't fallen asleep after 3 hours of me talking, well, you got something going wrong with you. I should have put everybody to sleep by now. Anyhow, looks like we all hit all the questions that we could. And Carpe Diem says, Mehran, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. My pleasure, Carpe Diem. You're a wonderful person and always with kind words. I appreciate it. So, guys, I thank you very much for giving me time to share some of the opinions and discussions with you. I love you all, and it was wonderful for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Be good to yourself and to the others. I look forward to talk to you soon, and I'll talk to you just as I said. So, bye for now. Yeah. The ending didn't have a script, just like anything else doesn't have a script. Good night, guys. Bye-bye, or good day. Yeah.